Okay, 5 o'clock, so I'll open this meeting and just advise all present that the audio and video of this meeting is being recorded and live streamed to the community via the City of Hobart YouTube channel. So welcome anybody who is watching. If there's any elected member present who has not yet signed in with the in accordance with our COVID-19 Safe Plan, please do so now, and please turn mobile devices to off or silent. I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting on the land for which the Muwinina people were custodians for thousands of years, and pay my respects to elders past and present of First Nations people of Tasmania, Latruwita. We have no leave of absence. We have everybody present here: Alderman Briscoe, Councillor Harvey, Alderman Barakis, Councillor Dutta and Councillor Coates. So welcome to the committee. Confirmation of minutes from the last meeting, please.
Moved.
Thanks, Councillor Harvey. Those in favour? Those against? Items carried. We have no supplementary items. Are there any indications of pecuniary and conflicts of interest? Not from the committee, okay. Any transfer of agenda items? No transfers. Item 6, Planning Authority items, consideration of deputations. We have no deputations this evening. It's going along well, isn't it? Item 7, Committee acting as a planning authority. 7.1 is applications under the Sullivan's Cove Planning Scheme. 7.1.1, 40 Salamanca Place Battery Point signage. So this is for the Speaker's Corner. Can I have somebody move that, please? Yes. Councillor Harvey. Discussion?
I'm actually, Chair, I'm pleased to see this new location for Speaker's Corner. I think this is a much better site than the previous location in a very busy, echoey location in the city. I'm assuming that the old Speaker's Corner no longer is available, and this new one is in a good location. I think the sign's very obvious. People aren't going to miss it, and I hope it gets well used.
Thank you. So is it a particular area, or is it not? Is it just the sign that we're considering, not the area?
Yes, through Chair. It is the sign only that requires planning consent. The allocation of the spaces, the Speaker's Corner, is
All right, thank you.
But I am pleased about the new location.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Items carried. Is that goes to full council? It should do, shouldn't it,
it's committee.
as a committee? Okay, right, thank you. Item 7.2 is applications under the Hobart Interim Planning Scheme. 7.2.1 is 15 Beechworth Road, Sandy Bay. Mr Noyes declaring an interest. Open the item for discussion. Can I have somebody move the item, please? Thanks, Alderman Briscoe. Ms Abbey, could you just tell me what sort of difference there was from this in the original application, please? Is it still going out and having some impact on Unit 3 in particular, is it not, at the next door neighbours?
Thank you, Chair. The differences in the applications are summarised in the background to the application. The current application is a smaller version of the proposal that was made earlier. The current proposal fits within the building envelope, which removes the discretion from the committee on some of the issues that were of concern to the representatives.
So overlooking and overshadowing.
Privacy and yes, the loss of sunlight, those types of issues aren't before us tonight.
So the height of that wall facing number 13? Like it's set back, and again it's within the bounds, I suppose, but what height are we looking at? Because it's outside of the building envelope, isn't it, still?
If the building envelope is on page 120, you can see the red dotted line is the envelope. Sorry, it may look as if the building overall, some parts are outside the building envelope, but the proposed changes aren't. So the parts that we're assessing tonight are only what's being proposed to be changed to the property. Excuse me.
That was the previous elevation on page 79. Yeah, I see. Okay. And so the height is within that building envelope now?
Of the new works, yes, that's correct.
Okay. Any further discussion or questions? Not, I'll put the motion as moved by Alderman Briscoe. Those in favour? Those against? Items carried, but that will go to full council on Wednesday. Mr Noyes coming back. Item 7.2.2, 10 to 15 Hunter Street. Absolutely move that. Alderman Barakis, thank you. Discussion? I have a question, Mr Noy. There's an enclosure of the balcony. Is there any reduction in private open space, or is that not an issue with Sullivan's Cove planning scheme?
Through you, Lord Mayor, there will be some reduction in private open space, but it's not an issue of scrutiny under the planning scheme, Sullivan's Cove planning scheme. So it will create a little bit of disruption to the facade, but it doesn't. There's very little scope to object to it under the provisions of the scheme.
I see. Okay, and it's still for residential accommodation?
That's correct.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
I'm just scrolling through to try and get a perspective on the new design for that balcony, and I guess my question is, what protection is there to keep a consistency across those balconies, or across time everybody could change the nature of their balconies, and you could end up with, you know, every balcony being different? And I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't have a view on it at the moment, but I'm just thinking ahead. If balconies start to be altered, how does that affect the vista or the heritage kind of views of the waterfront?
Mr. Noy?
Yeah, look, I refer you to page 223, I think. So you'll see that it provides some visual interpretation. It's a primarily glazing, so and it's sort of to the side of the sort of the main facade, so it does present a little less prominence, I suppose, to coupled with it being glazing, so it does present a little less.
So you're referring to those images?
That's right, and more importantly, the one above it.
Which doesn't give an indication of what it's going to look like.
Well, it gives you an impression of where the infill will occur.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It's not a photo montage, is it?
No, it isn't.
I just have no perspective of what we're going to end up with.
So as far as the finishes go, is that a condition? There's not many conditions with this one. It's one of the slimmest conditions I've ever seen.
I mean, we certainly could impose.
Because I just don't have a perspective on what it's going to be. It could just be filled in with corrugated iron.
Yeah. No, I believe the actual proposal did nominate glazing. So I recall, but we could certainly include a condition that the materials and finishes to the satisfaction of itself.
Are you happy to have that
Yep.
put in,
Yeah, that's it.
Alderman
That
Barakis?
seems perfectly reasonable.
All right. Any further discussion? No? Well, I'll put that motion with that amendment. Those in favour? Those against, items carried. Now, 4 Buchanan Avenue,
Happy to move that.
7.2.3. Thank you, Alderman Briscoe. Discussion? It's just a driveway by the looks of things? Or walkway?
Has been previously.
And no,
Ah.
and no representation against, and it's only here because of a council reserve.
Okay. Any further discussion? No discussion? I'll put that. Those in favour? Those against, items carried. Item 8.1 is for reports, delegated decision report. Alderman Barakis. I'll put that. If there's no discussion. Those in favour? Those against, items carried. Item 8.2, City Planning Advertising Report, and I see that,
Question, 125 Bathurst Street, haven't we approved something on 125 Street?
We approved residential, but that is subsequently, the property's been subsequently sold, and a new proponent is proposing.
you want to move that, Alderman Briscoe?
I'll move the item,
You, anything else?
Oh, there are no other items on the list coming to the council.
Okay. All right, I'll put that. Those in favour?
Aye.
Those against, items carried. Item 9 is questions without notice.
Yes.
Alderman Briscoe.
Yeah, I think I did alert the Director I'd be asking a question. The Premier, I think, announced that auxiliary dwellings would be exempt from permits, and plus with a bonus of $10,000. What is the extent of those permits being waived? In other words, is it planning, is it building, is it heritage, etc., etc.? Thank
Mr
you.
Boy? Okay. Any further questions without notice? Right. Item 10, can I have somebody move that we...
Moved.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Dutta. Yes, we'll close the open portion and move into the closed portion. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those against? Items